Om Vasudevasutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagatgurum. So before I forget to announce at the end of this class, next 2 Sundays we will not have this Gita class. One of our Vice President Swamijis, he is visiting Singapore and Malaysia. So I will be with him and he will take on the last Sunday, he will take class in the temple. So all of you can come, but our class will be next on 4th of January. So this concept we were discussing earlier, and that doubt also was raised by Arjuna, that sometimes Sri Krishna is appreciating the sannyasa or renunciation of karma. Whenever there is a concept of renunciation of karma comes, it is renunciation of the desire of the fruits of karma. Because he himself says, no one can stay even for a second without doing karma. Nahi kaschit kshamamapi jato tishtati akarmakrit. Without doing karma, no one can stay. Then why there is a question of renunciation of karma? Either you can say renunciation of sakama karma, because nishkama karma falls into the category of austerity, tapasya, or your desire for spiritual progress. All the words which later came in terms of seva, for example in Bhagavad Gita, you do not find the word seva. That word has come later. Though the root Sanskrit word is always there, sevate. But doing service to people becomes a seva. It's a little later this concept would have been developed. So Arjuna asked that sometimes you say renunciation of karma and sometimes you are telling us to do karma, karma yoga. Karma yoga also is do the karma without your attachment or without expectation of the result of your karma, or do the karma and offer the result of the karma at the feet of your Ishta. These both are, one karma is from the bhakti point of view, one little jnana point of view. But karma has to be done. Karma with desire is a problem. Karma itself is not a problem. Because without karma we can't stay. We have to do karma even to survive, even to live. You have to do karma. No one can stay without karma. So his question was that tell me one thing, whether karma or non-karma. So Krishna told him very clearly that sannyasa and karma yoga, renunciation of karma and doing karma without attachment, both will be helpful to you for your spiritual progress. Nishreyasakara. Nishreyasa means complete benefit, complete good. Shreya. Nishreya is completely, 100%, fully, perfectly, that which will be helpful to you. That is called Nishreyasa. So, both these are Nishreyasa, Kara, both these are helpful to you. Then he says, in that, Tayostu Karma sannyasat karma yoga vishishyate. But still I say, karma yoga is better than renunciation of karma. Once he says in the previous line itself that both are beneficial for spiritual purpose, then why he is telling this? That karma yoga is better than renunciation of karma. One is that you can't live without karma, so you will be doing karma. And when you do karma, how you can say that renunciation of karma is better? And this, as I was telling earlier, this line, karma sannyasat karma yoga vishishyate, it took centuries for us to understand the meaning. People used to do karma. As soon as a person, normal people, those who do not claim that they are living exclusive spiritual life, but they are in the world, but spiritual minded, so doing good work, offering the fruits to God. But in that, the desire of name and fame, desire of appreciation, desire for other gains is common. That's why we always say that whatever service activities we do, if we do from social point of view is fine. That is from the side of the world. You do good work, people appreciate you, you get medals, you get appreciation, you get prizes, nothing wrong about it. When it comes from spiritual point of view, where result of your karma, if it gives you this fruit with which you are attached, so I do good work so that I can get appreciation. I do good work so that my name will be there in the society. That is sakama karma. Nothing wrong from normal point of view. Even if people do sakama karma and do seva of the people is good. But from spiritual point of view, we say very casually that whatever karma you do will give you one fruit, one result. Either enjoy it or offer it at the feet of God. Or rather you don't expect anything. But karma yoga is good to do than renunciation of karma. Till the beginning of 20th century, no religious order, forget about monastic order, no religious order ever thought to do service to people. You say how it is. That is what the fact is all about. Till now you see the practices, the temples, how much charity they do, how much directly help to people, service to people they do. Unless there is a certain kind of compulsion. Then what happens to the money which the temples collect? So now every temple will have one wing who will be spending the money according to the whatever decision is taken by in the constitution of the temple. But it was not so. Yes, helping we have a very old shloka in Bhagavad Gita also, it will come, Gau Brahmana Hitaya cha. Because that was the way of service limited to. Those who come, you help or serve to the holy people in the society. Sadhus used to beg food. Even Buddhist monks used to beg food. Giving alms to sadhus was considered holy. Looking after the cattle, because cattle was your property. That's why the word comes Godhan. Cows, which are property. And from there the word Gaurava has come. Gaurava, the sound of the cow. If there is more sound in your house, means you have more cows. So you are proud of, I have got 1,000 cows. Oh, you only 100 cows. So 100 cows is okay, but 1,000 cows is richer. So the richness was slowly in the society you will find, in the history also you will find, that the definition of richness changes according to the objects of enjoyment changes. Earlier time, thousands of years before, when population would be very slim, so only the kings had money. It could be a very interesting study. Think of that time. Give me the name of a few rich people during Rama's time. Krishna's time were more, or people came. So a lot of change came in the society. Wealth was centralized. Slowly wealth started becoming decentralized. Now also it is not complete picture. Wealth is not completely decentralized, but it is there, but the center has become bigger. 5, 10, 15, 20% people occupy the wealth of the country. So, this thought of serving people or serving living being came in the later or the recent history of last few hundred years. Even you must have heard the King Bhoja. It was 600 years before that. At that time, nobody had heard that in the world. Bhoja, he inaugurated and run hospital for animals 600 years before. This is on record. Even he was so much affectionate with the animals that he had learned the language of the animal. You can Google these things, you will find the books which are banned. One of the book is this, Bhoja. I don't know where it is available or not. But the language, when the birds will be chirping, he will understand what they are speaking. When the dog is barking, he understands what they are telling. So, idea is that the concept of service changed. The last concept which we evolved was that monks jump into the service of the people. This was not there before Swami Vivekananda's ideas. That is 120 years before. So Swamiji told to two of his disciples, though one of the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, Akhandanandaji, he started first service in Sargachi in West Bengal. He also was a monk. At that time, money was very rare in the hands of a common man. So these monks were part of the poorest of the group. So he was traveling in the Murshidabad area, Swami Akhandanandaji, and he found one small girl sitting beside the road and crying. And he found that this girl is sitting with a broken mud pot. So Akhandanandaji went and asked, why you are crying? We have only one mud pot in our house and this is broken. I do not know how to go back home. Even if I go back home, the house doesn't have anything even to hold little water. Then Akhandanandaji thought, what is this condition? That a common man doesn't have even few paisa at that time to buy even a mud pot. Then he went to those who are shopkeepers, etc., begged money and purchased a pot and gave to that girl. That was the first work done on a public platform. Then of course he started little larger way, few hundred people. That news came to Swamiji, and Swamiji said, this is what is the practical Vedanta for this age. And then massive relief work started, undertaken by the mission. one story which some of you may be knowing. Two disciples of Swami Vivekananda, Swami Kalyanananda, Swami Nishchayananda. These two, Swamiji told that you go to Haridwar and serve people. So they told how to serve people. We don't have anything to serve. Buy 2 pots, mud pots, fill up with pure water, sit beside the road and give water to the passers-by. When it is very hot, people like to drink water. So give them good water. Do that much. Swami Kalyanananda knew homeopathy treatment. So later on, he collected some money and purchased a box of homeopathy medicine and started treating people. They used to walk around. This we do not know until you read the history. Till the beginning of 20th century, 1900, beginning up to 1908, 10 and all that, massive poverty everywhere. Everything was looted. Anything which has got little value was looted. Tax was imposed on people, and that was the last 1920s, 30s, etc. So these two brothers, two monks, young monks, went to Haridwar, used to bring people who are ill and lying on the roadside and in the streets and all that. They used to carry them to the ashram, carry them to the place where they were staying. There was no permanent ashram. And they were serving, nursing, collecting food, begging food and giving them, and treating them with whatever medicines they had. So it was the time, as you know, Rishikesh was a seat of monastic orders. Most of the Indian monastic, all Hindu monastic orders have a center in Haridwar or Rishikesh. So the chief of that, Mahamangaleshwar, was a great monk of his time called Swami Dhanaraj Giri. Swami Vivekananda had met him, Swami Abhidanandaji had met him. Dhanaraj Giri also says about Swami Abhidananda that he was Vivekananda's Guru Bhai, brother monk, and extremely talented. That Dhanaraj Giri writes in his memoirs. So he invited Dhanaraj Giri. It was a kind of Sammelan, monks conference of different denominations. He sent his monks, I don't know, traditionally you may not be knowing, but those who go to invite other monks, there is a particular sign. They are called Chadidar, because I stayed in many years in North India, I know. And they will be holding one danda, and they are the people to go and invite. So they invited. Conference was about to commence. Dhanaraj Giri told that there are 2 monks of disciples of Swami Vivekananda. Why they are not here? So they told, we didn't invite them. Dhanaraj Giri said, why you didn't invite? They are also monks. So he used a very bad word, bad in the sense for the monks. He said they are bhangi sadhus. They are scavengers. They go and bring the sick people in their ashram. They serve them, clean their feet and all that. They are not sadhus. That much idea was not there. The monks can participate in the social service or helping people or serving people in any way. But it was Dhanaraj Giri who told, if those 2 do not come, this conference will not start. Then they went, brought Swami Kalyanananda and Swami Nishchayananda. Dhanaraj Giri made them sit beside them, both the sides, and the conference started. So that was the first official acceptance of our social service in the monastic order. Swami Vivekananda did Karma Yoga, he already had told. Akhandanji also was doing work. But Sadhu Samaj, the different denominations of Hindu monasticism, they never accepted this. Till now, traditional akhadas, traditional mutts, they do not know that much social service. Modern, post-Ramakrishna Vivekananda, those who came, could be Divine Life Society, could be Chinmaya Mission, could be Bharat Sevashram, could be many other orders. All of them do seva. Because Karma Yoga is important. And not for any other comparison, but all other these few monastic orders which I told, the basic books to read is the books of Swami Vivekananda. Because that was my subject of a small research. I was supposed to write a paper on this. So that was my subject, that contribution of Ramakrishna order in the regeneration of monasticism in India. That was my topic. So this is how service started. I remember I joined very late, of course, 1980s. I joined at Allahabad, which is another seat of Hindu monastic orders in India, Prayagraj. So I used to go to many of these traditional ashrams called Juna Akhada, Niranjani Akhada, Udasi Akhada. These people are Hindu monks sitting on a huge piece of land. Some agriculture, some cows and some rental and all that. But you do not find any service for the people. So when we started a charitable dispensary, I remember a very senior monk of Udasi Akhada came with a bag full of money and gave to us. So I told Swamiji, what is this for? Then he told, let's little of our money be rightly used in the service of people. Then we told them, why can't you do something? You have a big place. 1980s I am telling. So we went and helped them, and they started a small homeopathic clinic. That was the first time in the whole history of Udasi Sampradaya. Which is Udasi Sampradaya, you may not be knowing. Guru Nanak had two sons. One of them name was Chandradev, and Chandradev is the founder of Udasi Akhada. Now Udasi Akhada, they are Hindu monks. If Guru Nanak is a founder of Sikhism, both his sons should be Sikh. But no, Chandradev was a Hindu Udasi Akhada founder. But if you go today, they all look like Sardarjis. They wear the turbans and keep a beard and all that. But they are Hindu monks. So, Karma Yogat, Karma Sannyasat, Karma Yoga Vishishyate. Karma Yoga is better than renunciation of karma. Who was reading Bhagavad Gita? More or less, monks used to read more than the scholars, than the general people. But those monks also did not interpret this verse that we should be serving people. That concept came very later. Though seva was there, people used to serve. Not that it was something new, no. But monastic order, monks, those who renounced hearth and home, we are not supposed to do any Vedic ritual. But to be engaged in service of the people, that concept was not popular. I remember one incident, and the reference of Swami Akhandananda ji has come. Swami Akhandananda ji was traveling Parivrajaka after passing away of Sri Ramakrishna, 1880s. While traveling, Swami Akhandananda ji landed in a port city of Gujarat called Jamnagar. Same Jamnagar which today we have. Big Reliance Industries that way. So Akhandananda landed there. Young boy, young man, depending on begging food and staying in some temples. He happened to be at the doorstep of one famous Ayurvedic doctor of his time, Mr. Jandu Bhatt, under whose name this Jandu Pharmacy is there today. There is a picture, I think I have put in one of the Nirvana magazine also. So, this Jandu Bhatt was an Ayurvedic doctor. When Akhandananda went to his house, and he had one kind of practice, a kind of vow. He will not eat anything or drink even water without serving either a poor man, poor person, or a monk. That day Akhandananda happened to be there in front of his house. So Akhandananda went, and whatever conversation would have happened, and saw the boy speaking English, and at that time Jandu Bhatt also would have heard the name of Sri Ramakrishna. So, very interesting incident took place. Akhandananda, I think he stayed for 2 days in his house, if I am not mistaken. And Jandu Bhatt will do some puja in his house and also serve the poor people who come to his doorstep. He used to repeat one shloka, this Jandu Bhatt. This original shloka is from Bhagavatam. There is a character in Bhagavatam called Ranti Deva. If you Google Ranti Deva, that reference will come. And there is a shloka from Bhagavatam where Ranti Deva is telling to God, he is praying to his Ishta, Nachaham Kamaye Rajyam, I do not want a kingdom, I do not want to be that rich. Nasvargam, I do not also want to go to heaven. Na Punarbhavam, I do not want even liberation. Kamaye Dukkhataptanam Praninam Artinashanam. I want only the cessation or the removal of misery in the life of all living beings. I do not want any spiritual benefit. I just want to make people free from misery. Today also, people are full of misery. Misery type has changed because of surrounding has changed. Poor person has another misery. Rich has another misery. Single people have one misery. Married have another misery. Every different. Nobody is free because this nature of this world, you may apparently find a lot of happiness, apparently. But that happiness suddenly turns into misery. Why? Because that happiness is not long-lasting happiness. Maybe it's a big statement to make. Any happiness which we enjoy with the help of our 5 senses, any enjoyment of seeing something, enjoyment of hearing something, or smelling something, or eating something, or touching something, in excess, or when that enjoyment is little more than normal, excessive, it ends into frustration. I give only one example, you can interpret in rest all. I like to eat sweet, or you like to eat ice cream, or you like to eat chocolate, or whatever. Say I like to eat sweet. So you brought sweet. Swamiji, you like sweet, you take. And it is very, very good quality, very good sweet from a very good shop. So I took one. No, Swamiji, you take another one. Okay, I took another one. No, Swamiji, you take the third one. And I start resisting. Then he forced me. I took the third one, then you want to force for the fourth, then fifth, then sixth. What my reaction is expected? I become angry on you. I become annoyed. How that sweet, the first sweet gave me happiness, sixth sweet lost capacity to make me happy. Because my limit is there. If I am diabetic, even one piece of sweet is limit. For non-diabetic, maybe 2, 3, 4 pieces are limit, but there is a limit. And that span of 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, below and above is an infinite expanse of frustration. We like to see the light, we appreciate light. Without light we cannot do work. But the same light, if it is excessive, misery, you can't tolerate. Everything goes there, every enjoyment of this world, because we are made in this way. It is like a water pressure, air pressure. Why everybody cannot climb the mountain? Because the air becomes very thin. We are not habituated. As we cannot travel more than certain height because of the less pressure, we cannot go down in the ocean more than certain depth because we can't tolerate that water pressure. So there is always a limit, there is always a window. More than that or less than that is a misery, is a suffering. For all the senses, it is same. We have a limitation of being happy. We have a Swami Samachittananda, even spiritual sense. That's why the foundation of pure life is very much required, even for spiritual people. You may lead a good spiritual life. Even real spiritual bliss, if you get, your body will not be able to tolerate. Sri Ramakrishna says once, people read about samadhi and this and that. Your nerves will not be able to tolerate this. It's just like electric line. The more electric current comes, the fuse will go out because your system cannot tolerate that. So the purity is required, purity of nerves. Sri Ramakrishna was not a muscle and strong-bodied person, but nerves were very strong, where that bliss can travel. The little diversion, Swami Vivekananda went in America or Europe somewhere, went to a museum, and so there is a statue, a sculpture of Jesus Christ, and the sculptor had made him very well muscled, and even the veins were visible. Swami Vivekananda said the sculptor doesn't have idea about a spiritual person. No spiritual person whatsoever in the history can have this body, because his mind can never come down to level of the body. Healthy body is fine, but not this WWF kind of body. No. Jesus Christ cannot have that. When do you think he had time to do that? His mind was soaring high. So, idea is this, that karma yoga is better than renunciation of karma. That was totally reinterpreted. And this big seva or karma yoga, Swami, karma yoga is one book which everybody should read to make improvement in their own basic spiritual personality. Many people say, so we say, read Karma Yoga and then read Jnana Yoga. To make it mature, read Karma Yoga again and then read Jnana Yoga again. That has to change the state of your mind, has to change the way you live your life. So, idea is this, then this duality of karma yoga and karma sannyasa So similarly goes to jnana and karma. Those who are jnana yogis are not busy in karma. Those who are karma yogis doesn't seem to be appreciating philosophy. That also synthesis was done in the light of teachings of Sri Ramakrishna by Swami Vivekananda. And that's why you will find that we may not be personally, personally we may not be that big example of synthesis of 4 yogas, but the general tradition in our order and in the recent most of the orders which came into existence after this, after order of Sri Ramakrishna, where the synthesis of 4 yogas takes place. We discuss Upanishadic philosophy. Next moment we can go and sing bhajans which are full of devotion. Then you come down and help people and do karma yoga. Then you again do intellectual study which is part of yoga. Your continuous, all the waking hours have to be channeled in one of these, either bhakti or jnana or karma or yoga. Without that, spiritual life cannot be. So this another synthesis Sri Krishna has told here, that Sankhya and yoga. What is Sankhya? Sankhya is a philosophy which comes from the word Sankhya, the number. Why number? Purusha or the Atman and the Prakriti, which is made of 24 tattvas. So this 24 plus 1, 25 is a number. So that philosophy which comes from this number is called Sankhya philosophy. Therefore Sankhya became synonymous with Jnana. So Sankhya and yoga is a karma yoga here. So Krishna says Sankhya and yoga, they are not different. Jnana and yoga from this point of view are not different. Those who say different are children. Children will say, a Pandit, scholar, educated person will not say. Because you follow any of these two sincerely, you will get the same result. Then clearly he says, a place which is achieved, or the state which is achieved by Sankhya, by Jnana, tad yoga api gamyate. Same can be achieved with yoga. Sri Krishna gives example of King Janaka, the father of Mother Sita. He was karma yogi. Why he was karma yogi? Not karma yogi that he was serving people, not from that point of view. But Janaka was a king. He was not a retiree, he was not a monk. But as a king, there was nobody spiritual master like him. Even the monks used to come in his court and try to learn something from him. There is another way of thinking. If you think the last 5,000 years of history of Hinduism or Vedanta, it was the selected monks and Brahmins. They were the custodian of knowledge, of the Upanishads and Shastras and all that were with the Brahmins. But between 3,000 and 4,000, the knowledge was slowly transferred to Kshatriyas. All the kings, therefore from there the word Rajarshi came. Raja and Rishi together. Janaka was Rajarshi. He was king also and he was a Rishi also. So much so that he is inviting monks to do debate, Shastrartha, and he will be sitting on the throne and judging the great monks. But he was Kshatriya. That proves that knowledge has no limit. This class system, I don't want to use the word caste system, class system. Every society has different classes. So this class system has nothing to do with the knowledge. Those who say traditionally some people would have said, though I have not read, oh, women cannot repeat Gayatri Mantra, oh, Shudras don't have right to read Vedas. Anybody can read Vedas. Read Vedas doesn't mean you will be able to benefit by that. Today you give me a book, oh, artificial intelligence. Since I know English, I will be able to read that book. Do you think I will be able to understand that book? No. So to understand the book, you have to be trained. Read the book is not a problem. Any child of convent school who is in primary 5, give them any quantum physics also, he can able to read it. Because he is habituated to read. That doesn't mean he can understand the concept. There's all this misunderstanding of bearing somebody from reading is not bearing somebody. You won't be able to read even if I give you. Many times people say, Swamiji, I read but I don't understand. I say, you will understand provided you are trained. Whatever little training I have, that much I understand. I also can't understand. You give me Shankaracharya's commentary on Brahma Sutra, sorry, I don't think I will be able to understand. The Upanishads, up to certain extent, yes I can. Bhagavad Gita, yes I can. Because I have read it under the masters. So, preparation is necessary. If foundation is not there, then you say, no, quota system, I should be allowed. We don't understand this. I am not talking from any political point of view. But how you want to reserve the quota? I don't understand. Just because you are born in that group of people or that caste or that section and all that, how can you reserve your seat? You can't pass even matriculation properly. How should I give you admission in medical? No, you must have seats in medical. Even if I keep your seats, you won't be able to understand. So idea is that whichever path, whether it is a secular or spiritual, whether it is in engineering or medical or computer science or whichever field of study, if your basis is not strong, superstructure cannot be constructed. A few times I have given this example, maybe some of you were not there. One day I thought, I am intelligent, I can understand. There should be somebody to make me understand. If you make me understand, I will understand. Is there anything which I cannot understand? I told myself I can understand. So I went to YouTube, your videos, and I proved myself that no, what you are thinking is not correct. You can't understand if you are not prepared to. You can't understand if you are not step by step learned. I went to some Madras IIT and famous professors' lectures. First lecture, okay, because I have little background of science. From second and third lecture, believe me, everything goes above my head. This I did just to tell to myself, foundation is required. If your foundation is not clear, is not strong enough, you cannot study that which is in deep, higher or fine study. So idea is, scripture is the same. I can tell one really funny incident. There was a famous scientist in 1950s in Bengal called Meghnad Saha. Now Meghnad Saha was devotee of the mission in that way. So some of his friends were our monks. So he used to come to see the monks and can talk with freely. He was very quite open-minded in that way. No harm in accepting that you know science better than me. No harm in accepting that defeat. So he came to one of our centers and told to his friend who is a monk, you people only talk about religion. You can't show me any proof. Come to science. What we say, we can prove in the laboratory. I can show you what I preach, what I teach. You just teach, you just preach. You can't justify, you can't prove anything. So the Swami said, maybe, let us go for a walk. So they went for a walk. Some of you may have seen Bulgaria. Bulgaria, we have a huge center, old center. So it's a big, many acres of land. So they were walking. While walking, they came to the main gate. So the Swami saw that in front of main gate, the cycle rickshaws, sometimes tricycle and sometimes where a man will be pulling the rickshaw, that was standing, they were standing there. So the Swami said, I would like you to make them understand some basic scientific rules. Could be law of gravitation, could be relativity, could be something. So Meghnad asked, whom you are telling? No, any of this rickshaw puller. But they'll illiterate. So the Swami said, so what? Science is a science, truth is a truth. You prove him. So he said, you got nuts. How to prove him? He has to have some basic education. The Swami said, I stop here. This is what I am also telling. Spiritual truths are not which like a chemistry or physics can be proved. You need to lead a life. You need to practice. Then some of this you may understand. All the big Vedic truths, even sometimes we say it is beyond our reach because we are not putting that mind into it. Or you don't have even capacity to do it. You do it. You can't do more than what you are capable of. So your foundation has to be very strong. So the importance which is given to the japa and dhyana and prayers and meditation and service and all this is to make your foundation strong. Then when you read a shloka, you will be able to understand. Even the barrier of the language will go if your foundation is clear. Maybe you are not a Sanskrit scholar, but you have achieved that height of purity which is able to understand up to a certain extent these principles of the scriptures. There are incidents. Latu Maharaj Swami Adbhutanji was illiterate. When he is sitting, and Swami Shuddhanji was a scholar. Shuddhanji read one shloka in Sanskrit. Adbhutanji was sitting there and said, yes, the Rishi says correctly. Shuddhanji said, how do you know that? You do not know Sanskrit and I didn't read even the translation. And Adbhutanji explained that shloka in his broken Hindi and Bengali. If you achieve that purity of mind, the concept of the scripture becomes easier to you to fathom some depth of this. So idea is this, that whether it is Jnana Yoga or Karma Yoga, a person has to be sincere and serious and making the foundation strong. No harm in accepting where we are. Doing simple puja and japa is not a sign of a lower spiritual person, no. Idea is that our foundation should be strong and that foundation is nothing but the purity of mind. Purity of mind comes with the help of Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, etc. So we shall take up and our next Gita class will be on 4th of January. Next 2 Sundays, this class will not be there, but next Sunday there won't be any class, but after that, 28th I think, 28th is Sunday, our Vice President Maharaj is there, he will speak on spiritual life in the temple. The notice will be given to you later on. Thank you. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.